Hey, welcome. Check this out. We're gonna go to the oldest video here. 6 years ago, I made $375 my first day on Amazon FBA, and then how I make $3,000 a week on Amazon at 18 years old. So this is a funny little video here.
Launched my people.
I don't look that different, to be honest. Where was I going with this? Oh, 6 years of selling on Amazon in however many minutes this video takes. So I launched this video with PPC, or launched this product with PPC, nothing else. And let's just go over what that product was actually. Just start there. So this was the main search term that I ranked for. I actually secured best seller and the Amazon Choice badge for this. It was pretty awesome within like 2 weeks of launching it. It's funny, the market looks so different now. There's not even really anything comparable, I don't think, to what I was selling. This is what the market primarily looked like the entire time I was selling. So there was just these triggers. Mobile game triggers was the other term that I ranked for. And they just clip onto the top of your phone like that. PUBG Mobile was a really big trendy game at the time, Fortnite Mobile as well. So people were putting these little triggers on their screen to essentially give them like an advantage when they're playing mobile games, because it allows you to, treat it like a little Xbox controller or something. Now they're actually game controllers that strap around your phone. It wasn't like that at all. Those didn't even exist. So yeah, it was like that. And then basically what had happened was I found this product on, actually at the time it was like this, I found it on an app that was a product research app. I would not be able to tell you the name of it, but it told you, it basically did what Helium 10 does, where you can look at the, so yeah, it did this, but like a really janky version of it on mobile. And I looked up the product ID and saw that the sellers that were selling the triggers were doing like 15, 20K a month. Did I spell it wrong or something? The search term doesn't have a lot of search volume anymore for some reason, but some of these sellers are still doing really good, so there must be other search terms. Basically what I did is just I bundled it. So my first product offering was a bundle. There's those triggers and like this. It's kind of like this, but not built in, a little analog stick in there. And I just used the packaging that came with it. I went to Alibaba.com. We're gonna go through the whole process here. Alibaba. I searched the term that was on Amazon, mobile game controller. And again, it didn't look like this at all. It was mostly just those little triggers. Like these things, you could see they're really inexpensive. So I was basically able to bundle the triggers, the controller that holds the phone, and the analog sticks for $3 and like 20 cents, and then like another $1.20 for air shipping or something. So it was like $4.24, $4.30, something like that. And I listed it on Amazon for $24.99. So I was making a ton of money, right? Because the margins were really good. There's 65% net profit margins, and then I only spent $20 a day on ads. Ridiculous numbers. And so that worked out really well for me. And it was kind of this interesting situation where it really affected my perception early on. It like, how can I even say this? It just like made me feel like, oh my God, this is like magic. Like it doesn't even seem real. So to give you the context, I was working a part-time job making $220 a week, I think at the time. I was a teenager. I start selling on Amazon. Cost me about $1,000 to start it. And that first month, I think I made $9,000. Like unfathomable to me at this time. Unfathomable. Like it just felt so way too good to be true. I'm texting my dad. I'm like, look at this, like sending him screenshot. I can't believe how much money, this is ridiculous. And then immediately, it's funny, I'm so glad I have this all documented. It's really funny. Oh, by the way, join Savage Sellers. This is $9 a month. I'm trying to get a bunch of people in here. I want to build the Amazon FBA community for like the cost of 2 cups of coffee a month. There's hundreds of hours of footage in there. teaching you how to do what I ended up doing by the end of the video. You know what I'm talking about. That's not even the right. Here we go. There's like a video, oldest. I documented even before I started selling. I was doing these little vlog style. And it's like when I made my first LLC. There's like a vacation video in here. Yeah, this one. This is really funny. It's not that funny, but I just like flew to the Caribbean. Not that. So in cool little lizard there. Just like vlog style. Not even. There's like I don't even think I'm talking in the. It's just like B-roll the whole time. I think. I was drinking at 19 years old. It's legal there. That was pretty dope. So basically, I sold that product for 3 months, and I got some hijackers on the listing. It was not brand registered. Back then, you didn't even have to brand register to put a custom brand name in. You could just type in whatever brand name you wanted, and it would work. So selling on Amazon has changed quite a bit since then. You definitely can't do that now. I was flooded with some competitors that started offering similar things, and the hijacker on my listing was really pissing me off, to be quite frank. And so I had to keep lowering my price to make my sales. Like I logged in one day, I should have had like 10 sales already. By the time I logged in, I had like 1. And I was like, what? And then I saw someone had actually hopped onto the buy box and started selling underneath me. Basically, hijacked the listing, lowered the price, and so I had to lower my price to compute them. Margins got less and less and less. I remember Prime Day that year, I sold like 60 units, like 2K in sales. And then that sold off a lot of my inventory. And for some reason, I don't know why I did this in hindsight. Again, I was like not very smart. I had graduated high school the year prior. Okay, give you some context here. I let it sell out and it was still profitable. Even though the trend was that it was becoming less profitable, I don't know why I didn't keep it in stock. So in 3 months later, basically I did like 9K, then like 6K, then like 2K. Like that's how much competition came in. But why didn't I just keep making 2K a month? I don't know. Hindsight is 2020. I guess I would have reordered that product for sure now, even if it was had competition coming in, because like I said, it's profitable. So anyway, for some reason I let that go out of stock. I was like all noble. I was like, I'm starting a new journey, new product, everything that I think that I learned. And this time I'm going to do it for 5 times as much. I remember I thought it was so cool. I was going to spend $5,000 to launch a product instead of $1,200 because I had saved some of the money that I made and didn't spend it on travel or clothing or whatever I was buying at that time. And that product was a complete flop. So let me share that one now, actually. That was this product. Okay. People are still kind of doing what I was doing back then. My main competitor was, let's see if they still sell. Z Quiet. Yep, they still sell. Look, shitty product, and they still sell 3,000 units a month at $59.95. I'm not sure how they're getting away with that. They were still there, like I said, back in the day. They had 1,000 reviews. Then they were the only seller with 1,000 reviews. No one else had that many. It's like now they have 7,000. Yeah, most things looked like this: 100 reviews, 200 reviews. I feel really bad for anyone who's doing this because I know they're not winning. Tried that myself. So I bundled because bundling worked so well for me the first time that I was like, oh, whatever's on this page, you just put it all together and that makes you money. So I literally took like this, the chin strap, the eye mask, it was ridiculous. I took like everything here and I put it all together. Talk about not understanding your customer. Who wants to wear all these things at once? A mouth guard and a chin strap and an eye, like you would look ridiculous. Why would you ever do that? You wouldn't. So anyway, that failed. I lost all of the money that I spent on that $5,000. It was most of the money that I had saved that I didn't just straight up spend. It's been a bit of a trend, is that when I make money selling physical products, I tend not to put it back in the business. I tend to just spend the money, which I don't have any regrets about that. I think life is meant, you're supposed to have experiences, right? There's balance that was required, and I had to develop that discipline somewhere. But again, in hindsight, I'm not like, oh, I should never know. I had a ton of fun, and I was just a kid making some money online, selling physical products. And so when this went awry, I still, like I said, I had such a good taste in my mouth from what happened prior. It was like I was addicted, right? I was like, I got to get that hit again, because that was so cool the first time, how I made all that money so quickly, turned $1,000 into like 30 grand over the course of the next 3 months. And so like, how do I do that again? And so I literally at this point, let's go back to the channel. It's cool to be able to refer to the videos that I was putting out then, because you can really follow the storyline. So this happened, then I posted this, then I posted this, and there was a big gap here. This was like 6 months between this video, how I launched, and then my full story. You can see here from $36,000 to broke. This is the story I just told you. And then I started using my experience with my past 2 products to talk about how I made money with the first product and what it was. This video goes over that. I don't know if some of you may have seen this video. I shared what it was that I was selling and how I'm going to start using the lessons that I've learned going forward. And here's the video talking about the big mistake I made with the anti-snoring kit. So it cost me, I think that might be the real amount. I don't know if I made that up for that video, but it was above $5,000. I think that's probably the real amount. So then I got this job. You can see I'm wearing a vest here. I started working at an Amazon warehouse, and then I started doing door-to-door sales. So this and this are very similar time frame. I was posting probably a couple times a week at this point. And then the next thing that I started doing was simultaneously saving money from the new job that I got. Because again, I went basically my income completely crashed down, so I had to start working again after that summer. It was basically like a summer win, and then I had to restart. And got this job, door-to-door sales job. Started just learning my lessons and starting to look for my third product again. Simultaneously, I started doing retail arbitrage. This video actually is the best video I've ever posted. Got 100,000 views. It's really funny because it's only the 20th video I made on the channel. I still haven't been able to beat that. But I just showed everyone what it was that I was doing. I found a really lucrative way to do online arbitrage where I didn't have to leave my house, didn't have to go to Walmart, didn't have to go to Target, and I figured out how to start making a couple $100s a day again. And I was flipping supplements online, pretty lucrative stuff, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon. But it was much more time intensive. It wasn't private label where you just check your sales every day. It was no, I had to actively find stuff to resell all the time. You see all the stuff that's playing in that video. It's all stuff I had to find online to resell. I used that to launch my third and fourth products simultaneously, well documenting what I was doing and how I'm doing product research. That kicked off my next product, which was actually did pretty good. It just had pretty low volume. It was this product here. Wizard Wand makeup brushes. It was a Harry Potter inspired. Yeah, so you can see they sell pretty good, and they were really cheap. But there's only 100 sales a month, 100 sales a month, 50 sales a month. I got scared because I didn't have a lot of success when I went for the anti-snoring kit, which was a bigger market at the time. There was a competitor that was doing 100K a month. That was that Z Quiet or whatever that brand was. And so I overcorrected. That was one mistake that I made. And hopefully this is helpful for you guys. By the way, comment down below at any point that something's notable or you have a question about something. I'm just trying to be super helpful and transparent about the entire journey I've had on Amazon here. So you don't have to make the same mistakes. This market was good. It was just too small. I was making sales profitably, but ultimately it kind of was a giftable product, and I started selling it in the winter. And so I was oh, this is sick. But then after Christmas, it just kind of stopped selling. It was occasionally a couple of good days, but then it wasn't anything that was going to retire me, put it that way. profitable, but very small. And so I needed to start adding more and more products to the equation to start making that work. And the next one that I hit that ended up doing really well was a, what the heck was it called? I think it's TWS i12. Yeah, it was like headphones that looked like AirPods, and these do sell really well, as you can see here. So I started selling a bunch of those, and that was my next win. And I was joking like, oh, I gotta find that hit again. That was that hit again. Or was there something before that? Oh, I started selling another variation, like mobile game controller. I went back to the mobile game controller market and tried it again, and actually did get it to work pretty good again, because I saw the evolution that was happening with those other devices that were coming out. I didn't go for a full other device. What I went for was it was like green and black, and it had wiring. So it was still analog. There was still no Bluetooth connection or anything like that. It had little wires going to the suction cups, and those are what ended up making it work. Plus the Wizard Wand makeup brushes. Yeah, I had a little small suite of products. Again, I gotta go back in my memory. I launched a bunch of products after this. Then the TWS i12s. Those started crushing it. Did the photography myself. I was doing $200 a day in profit or something selling those. They were super profitable, maybe even more than that. Might have been closer to 300. And this was like, okay, great. I've got it again. I don't ever need to learn a lesson again. I've got it. That gets copyright striked because I copied Apple's main image too closely. And then again, I was so stupid. I shut down the listing instead of just fixing the copyright. I didn't understand what a copyright was. So this very vulnerable video here, talking about things that are like super simple mistakes that now, but in the time, like I didn't see it this way. And so I tried a couple of other variations of those headphones. They didn't work quite as well. It was really the ones that looked just like the AirPods that worked very well. And then I tried like an avocado pillow that immediately got taken down for copyright strike again, because there was a brand called like Squishmallows or something, and it looked too similar to theirs. That wasn't a big loss because I think I only ordered like 200 of them from DHgate. So that was okay. And then let's see, where did I go from there? Okay, I went to wicker wall decor, or macrame wall decor, sorry. Fast forwarded too far. Macrame wall shelf. I'll show you this one. And some of you will remember this because I actually, oh yeah, sorry. That's not right. This right here is the next product that I did. So at the time, the term macrame shelf had pretty good sales. But they were only the single ones like this. See, they sold 1,000 this month. So I was the first one to do this, by the way. There's proof back on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. I'm not going to keep going to my YouTube channel to prove it, but I was the first one to do this double tier one. I did it for $39.99. It was very profitable because I was the only one there. Everything else was a single shelf like this. I got the inspiration because I looked up just normal wall shelf or hanging wall shelf. Yeah, hanging wall shelf. So I took inspiration from a different search term, hanging wall shelf, where they did have this one. Yeah, this one. Makono. I still remember that brand. But it wasn't macrame. It was just rope and shelves. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'll do a 2-tier, but I'll make it macrame in the background. Went to Alibaba, found it, already existed. I just brought it to Amazon. Again, did the photography myself, made the listing myself, and that crushed it. We did like, I think the first month maybe 9K, then 13K. It was that like probably 30% profit margin. So it was doing really good. And I documented that process. I actually made my product storefront public at that time. This was like right before the pandemic hit, and I was, I was making videos about it. I remember I literally was like, I'm going to do something radical. I was like, radical transparency, radical open-mindedness. I'm going to make my store public. That was a pretty bad idea. A lot of people started clicking on my ads and copying me. And then I made like a tool product. It was for hanging pictures, picture hanging kit. Yeah, that's what it was. And that did okay. It got copied really quickly, and then I just didn't reorder it because my store was public. And I was like, hey, I might have shot myself in the foot here. This is not going so well. And so this is around the time where I started thinking I need to start a second Seller Central account and like not be public again, because I'm just getting copied left and right. And so then I did that, and this is right around the time that I thought wall decor was like my shit, because like the macrame shelf was doing so well before everyone started coming and copying, lowering the price, that I was just going to do more wall decor. That's where the wicker wall decor came in, and I did a star shelf, and I did a star shelf, and wicker wall baskets, and those were too small of markets. One of them, the star shelf was just too small. It only did like $2,000 a month. The wicker wall baskets, oh my gosh, this is a story. I sourced them from Vietnam. This was a horrible experience. It took me like 8 months to source this product. And the communication was horrible. The lead time was horrible. The manufacturer making good on their promise for delivery was appalling. I did not want it. By the time that it had arrived, I was already made up my mind. I was like, even if I ordered it today, there's no way we can get this in stock again. B, I don't want to work with them anymore. I then launched back into the gaming niche. I launched a PS5 plate, and the PS5 plate did pretty good. We reordered it maybe 4 or 5 times, and I think got it up to $10,000 a month. But ultimately, what kept happening? You should see the theme by now, and this is where gears started to really click for me. Hey, if you keep selling the same stuff that everyone has access to on Alibaba, you're going to keep getting ripped off and undercut in price. And if you keep just doing normal imagery and like cheap photography and don't stand out as a brand, you're never going to be able to make this work. I had a huge breakthrough at this point where I started actually like amalgamating the lessons, and it all started to click. I was like, you have to build a real brand. Like, do you see the brands that are in grocery stores? Yeah, you have to do that. That's what you have, like, or just everywhere when you go into a store and see like, you have to build a brand. I'd heard that before, and I never really wanted to accept it because it seemed like it was going to be a lot of hard work, and it was actually going to take quite a bit of effort. And I liked this idea of just kind of being like, well, I could just look what fits a certain criteria, order it from Alibaba. It takes like almost no effort for me. In a couple of days, I get a new product and try it out. And that yielded the results that you saw. It was an absolute roller coaster. I'd make money, get cut off, make money, get cut off, flop a product idea, find a new one. Like, it was just not sustainable. And being a employed entrepreneur, that's not something that was very promising for me. I was like, okay, this needs to be sustainable. Also, at this point, I had been how many years had it been now? 4 or 5 years, and I wasn't making progress. I was like, I don't really have anything to show for the effort that I've made here. Nothing. Like, I keep launching products and then discontinuing them after they make some money and then get copied. And so I was like, I need to put all my eggs in one basket and watch the basket. And this is where I was like, okay, I'm not going to source from Alibaba. I'm going to source from the US. That'll already help because people are going to have a really hard time finding my manufacturer. And I'm going to go into a bigger market where I only have to win once. I don't want to have to keep launching products. I want to launch a product and then let that be big enough to pay myself. And so I essentially did that exact process. If you're watching this, hopefully you can see that the lesson was just do it right the first time. Build a real brand with a product that you are passionate about and make it the best product on the market. And then build a community of raving fans that give you more and more social proof and positive reviews. And stand out and sell a story, not just a product. Because no one can do what I do now quite literally. I cannot get copied. We've actually been tried 3 times. People have tried to rip us off and never been successful because they're not selling the same story. They're not selling the brand, the packaging. They obviously can't copy my packaging. That's illegal. And we have a trademark brand. So we set up some really big, we have a brand character that is really cool. We spent a lot more on packaging and photography this time around, so the listing itself has a much higher conversion rate. The product is so much better and sourced locally, so the reviews are really high, and now we have a bunch of them. So it's just like pretty indestructible. And so in the past 2 years, I have not deviated from that path. And in fact, one thing that started to happen, that the final lesson, full transparency again, is that I started to get a little stagnant actually, because it actually finally worked. I finally felt like I arrived, and it wasn't like I didn't have to keep launching products all the time. And I was a little bit honestly like shell shocked from launching products all the time, and like I didn't want to keep launching, but like once I got one that worked, I was kind of just like resting on my laurels a little bit, because it was like kicking off cash and I could withdraw cash from the brand, and it was really steady and stable. It just kept getting better, more reviews, and it took me a while to see what the next step was. A year later, I launched the second product in my Made in the USA brand, and that one doesn't do as good as the first one. It does about $7,000 per month compared to the $35,000 that the first product does, but that's okay. It's basically a catch-all for another small niche of the same exact customer, slight differentiation, and so that's good. That one is also profitable, about 25% profit margin now. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, we were really well ranked on Amazon, and so that's plus great social proof, plus great brand story, plus repurchase rate really helps us make money continuously. Now it's like scaling doesn't mean more products. It means brand awareness, because my niche is so much bigger than just what's on Amazon. There are all these customers hanging out and buying products in stores locally that could be persuaded to just make a quick purchase on Amazon. And so my whole journey as of this year is scaling our social, scaling our website, making connections with influencers, and we'll end this on a high note. I just made a connection with a YouTube channel that's 100,000 subscribers of my exact customers, 30,000 followers, and through organic, honest connection with people in my community, and just being real and being in the community and talking and commenting and liking, not trying to get anything from anyone, they're going to be shouting out our product for free in mid-April. So within the next 2 weeks, we have a custom coupon code for their audience they're going to try. And that should really springboard us a lot into more and more collaborations with big people in the space. Now that they see that that very big, well-known channel has worked with us, we're going to also make sure that we treat them with a ton of love and respect and pay them well. Even though they're doing this for free, we want to build an ambassador program after. So we're going to make sure we set up an affiliate program for them. And they even said themselves, I just want to see how much business we can generate for you, and then we can work on a paid partnership later. I really like supporting awesome local brands. And so that was super nice. To be quite honest, I haven't been particularly like moved to make a lot of money in the past 2 years. I've been doing a lot of like self work and self-realization, like just spiritual work that I think I'd put off for so long, and I had formed all these closed doors in my mind about who I was and what I was supposed to do in life. And so business started to lose its zest for me, and I had to turn inward and find divine inspiration again and realize who I am and start working on my business again from a place of deep joy and peace and inspiration and gratitude, rather than like lack and want and trying to calculate how to play the game. Sorry, my nose is itchy. I'm not picking it, I swear. But yeah, I'm in a really good place now, and I'm honestly loving the work that I'm doing. I live a super balanced life. I'm not a super money-driven person. I know that's kind of hard for a lot of people to understand, especially since I'm like in the entrepreneurial space making entrepreneurial videos. people sometimes even are like, hey, why don't you make more money? Like, you've been doing this for a long time and some of your peers have scaled businesses a lot bigger than you. It's just not the path that I'm on. Like, I don't know, I'm not heavily motivated by it. Like, there's not a lot of pressure on me to do that. I live a very basic, normal life and run a very basic, normal business. And as life or the universe or God gives me my next step to work on and my next lesson, I take it and I work on that. And here's where I am now, full transparency and honesty. I'm running a Made in the USA brand with 2 products. It's a very small part of my life. A lot of my life is lived outside of running that brand. And so I'm trying to open more and more up to showing that here on YouTube, like who I am and what I care about and what I do outside of that, which is like, I love fishing and I love working out and I love meditating and learning about God and different religions and what all the ancient wisdom that many generations have cherished that we've kind of lost touch with. That stuff's very meaningful to me, and sometimes it is at the opposite end of making money, and so it, in a very real and meaningful way, grounds me. And I thank my journey with Amazon FBA for that. It's a bit of a love story to Amazon FBA as a business model for me, because it's always been there for me. I've always been able to rely on it, and I always took the perspective that it's not anyone else's fault but mine why what I'm doing is working out the way that it is. I'm manifesting from infinite possibilities of what I could do with this life, the life that I have. And so when I started, like I think a lot of us, having challenging mental times through the pandemic and getting cooped up and like only looking at a computer all day, it was tough. I'm a very, I like going outside. I spent a lot of time outside in the outdoors in my childhood and still now. And so that was really hard for me. And so I started getting kind of put into these situations I wasn't super comfortable with or, prepared for. And so it made me shift in a way that, well, I had to become a new person to learn the new lessons that I needed to learn. And then ultimately got driven to a point where I'm not even so sure I'm a person. I feel more like pure consciousness witnessing a person's life unfolding. And some of that, you might not be ready to hear that, or that might sound a little woo-woo or crazy, but some of you know what I mean when I say that. And so I don't feel lack anymore in that. I mean, the sensation of lack may arise sometimes, but I don't identify with it. I don't connect to it. And I don't feel like anything's out of place or I'm more deserving of something that I should have and I don't have it. I need to go manipulate energy and people to get what I want out there. Like, no, I don't really connect to that at all. And so as things happen, they happen. And it's quite beautiful, actually. So that's my full story with Amazon FBA and the lessons that I've learned. I don't know that I meant to include quite a few personal life lessons in there towards the end, but I did. And so maybe you needed to hear some of those. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you tuning into my channel. It means the world to me. I love sharing my journey. As you can see, I've been doing it for many, many years. And I will continue to do so, continue to let you know what's working and what's not. And continue to show you that it's okay just to be a normal person running a normal business at a normal rate. You don't have to be hustling all the time. You don't have to make $1 million a year to be happy. Any love, any happiness, any joy that you're seeking is already well within your reach. In fact, it is you, and it's been covered by social conditioning and negative experiences that you've had, and seems to be that it's out there somewhere, but it's not. And that was a really important lesson for me to learn. And so now I can create from a beautiful place instead of a place of frustration or lack and despair. And look what it's created. I mean, the entire universe is functioning through me each moment if I let it. Or I can close up and say, hey, your infinite wisdom is not smart enough for me. I'm going to take control here. And that just seems a little silly to me. So I'll take the lessons as they come and be grateful for what I have. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Later.